Hello and welcome back everybody to the last game of the day of the Mineski Pro Gaming League season number 6, sponsored by Gigabyte, SteelSeries, ViewSonic as well as Secret Shop Philippines. So huge shout out to them. Without them we wouldn't really be here casting this for you, and of course who the hell are we? We're HeflaTV, English coverage for the group stages of this. It's gonna be game number 2 of Insidious Idol versus Awake in this 2-game series. I'm Coucher and I am joined by Mike Loris.
We see Insidious Idol, after that last game, putting a little bit of respect towards Awake as they ban out the Meepo as their first ban. So I don't think it was the most threatening hero from Awake. Really, it was the other 4 heroes that put all the pieces together, and Meepo was just kind of in the background, being a really passive threat. But still, I guess if you know that the enemy has a really good Meepo player, you might as well just ban it out. It's better to not deal with it at all, because Insidious, they had a lineup that was, in theory, completely ready to take on a Meepo, but it just didn't come together for them.
Yeah, that's unfortunately exactly what happened for Insidious Idol. But Awake, they start with a Razor, so Faceless Void Death Prophet for Insidious. It's rather reminiscent of Game 1.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with the Faceless Void Death Prophet opening with the Chronosphere, as well as the Exorcism that worked pretty well together. You know, last game, the Faceless Void actually didn't get that much farm. Awake applied a lot of pressure to the Insidious Void, and he ultimately ended the game with almost an Aghanim Scepter and a Mask of Madness and a Maelstrom. Not enough damage to kill off a single Meepo when he was the only one who was being focused. So hopefully for this game, Insidious have a little bit more farm on that Void. As Awake, they're going to be playing a different game as they pick up a Razor as well as a Tinker. It's a nice hero to have, the Tinker, when you're dealing with the Chronosphere, because Tinker can put a lot of damage to the Chronosphere and really push the Faceless Void out of it.
Yeah, and just the laser as well, just to make sure Faceless Void actually can't right click for 3 seconds. Well, he can, but he will miss 100% of it. So yes, Tinker is an extremely good hero. And of course, trying to maybe not completely stop, but at least slow down the Death Prophet push at the same time as well with March of the Machines.
Yeah, Insidious, their pushing wasn't exactly the strongest in last game, despite the fact that they had a Death Prophet plus a Jakiro. So it's a precautionary pick, the Tinker, in order to prepare for a potential push from Insidious, but judging by the past play style of their Death Prophet, I'm inclined to think that Insidious are going to just use the Death Prophet ultimate to push whenever they have an opportunity. They're not going to make opportunities for the Death Prophet to push, so Tinker's always going to be a good hero regardless, and together with the Razor, it'll be a pretty solid late game for Awake, and if they could somehow lock down the Faceless Void, drain his damage, or laser him, then that's a lot of headache that Awake are not going to have to deal with.
Yeah, that is for sure true, and well, the last bans were Brewmaster and Scarf Mage by Awake, Shadow Shaman Tidehunter by Insidious. I mean, Tidehunter is always a good hero almost. The Ravage is such a great tool to kind of win team fights or tilt them in your favor a little bit. And of course, counter initiation up against Chronosphere, always good. But Insidious now, third pick about to come. Both teams so far have revealed 2 of their cores, so will we see some just focus now on the supports?
Yeah, and we already see a couple of the big ones being banned out. Insidious, they do have the availability of the Witch Doctor, and together with the Faceless Void, you really can't ask for a better support. Just the Death Ward Chronosphere combination is really legit, so they might want to be going for that one. Or, as always, Wraith King, Earthshaker still in the pool. Would be a little bit of a better pickup for Awake, seeing as though they have 2 ranged heroes, but ultimately, any of those supports picked up for any of these teams would be very nice for their lineups.
Yeah, they most certainly would, so we'll see how they want to go about this Insidious Idol. They definitely slowed down the draft now with the 3rd pick about to come from them. They can of course just reveal their full hand here, go for another core. If they want to go a little bit greedy, they can go in for something like an Enigma into the jungle. But unit based pushing, definitely not the best up against Tinker. Of course, Clockwork offlane is a possibility. Go for Storm Spirit, either safe or mid lane, with Death Prophet taking up the other part with Faceless Void offlane. Just something that could potentially deal with the Tinker maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, right now they don't really have any answers at all to the Tinker, aside from jumping on him with the Faceless Void and a Chronosphere. It could happen, but it's also not the safest way to do it. Insidious, they're going to go with the Venomancer pick. I haven't seen a Venomancer support in a very long time, so I'm inclined to think this is going to be a core Venomancer, in which case the pushing from Insidious is definitely going to be coming together. No Serpent Wards just yet, but they can pick up a Jakiro as their 4th hero, and with Liquid Fire, Plague Wards, and Exorcism, then Awake are going to be pushed very hard, though they always do have the Tinker. And Awake, they're going to take some precautions, then they're going to pick up the Jakiro. Pretty much a pseudo ban pick for Insidious, or for Awake from Insidious.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad hero up against Faceless Void, for example, either, really. He goes for the Chrono, suddenly you set down the long-range Ice Path, so he has to avoid it or just run into it, I guess, and lose some of the damage time in the Chrono. And of course, just getting some additional push for yourself is also never a bad thing, and like you said, kind of denying it to Insidious Idols at the same time. But Insidious Idol now, what are they gonna go for? I mean, Venomancer, if it's up against a Razor mid lane, it's always gonna be good, but Awake, they have two mid laners at the moment. The same applies for the Death Prophet, and I guess Death Prophet mid lane would be a little bit better anyway, in a sense that Death Prophet just really wants those levels, high points into Witchcraft as well as Exorcism.
And really, I think it depends on their laning depends on how much they want to be pushing. Their Venomancer could very easily go into an off lane, or if they don't really want to be pushing at all, it could very easily be played as a support, which is perfectly viable as well. So it's just a matter of how aggressive Insidious want to play with their pushing lineup. And against a Tinker, it's very difficult to say we're going to be going for a lot of pushing. Jakiro for Awake is kind of an awkward fit there. I mean, Jakiro is always going to offer you a little bit of push, but wow, Insidious going to go with the Juggernaut. Okay, it looks like they are going to go for a lot of the pushing. Haven't seen this hero in quite a long time. I expect their last hero to be something a little bit bulkier to make good use of that healing ward.
Man, you must have not seen or casted too much Southeast Asian Dota, because
No.
Juggernaut, it's a thing here, especially support Juggernaut. I saw it the first time like 2 weeks ago, I think, first departure. They ran it like in 50% of their games in Joint Dota League almost at the moment for this season. As well as we even saw it today, but it was in a core role actually today. Didn't really work out for them, but a Juggernaut can definitely just sustain the push with that healing ward.
Man, friggin' time zones. I want to see Juggernaut, but all these games happen at like 4 a.m. or around that time for me, so
Usually it's paired up with a Skyref Mage, just as a support duo, Concussive Shot into Blade Fury plus Ancient Seal, boosting up the damage even more.
No, that's a pretty absurd combination. Unfortunately for Insidious, the Skyreth Mage is already out for this game. Still, they have the Venomancer Juggernaut, which is the ultimate pub stomp duo lane. Plague.
We need a Crystal Maiden now.
What was that?
Yeah, Crystal Maiden is also necessary now, just to make sure that some slows do get through after all. But I mean, what do you think Insidious Idol could actually go for as the last one to just strengthen their push a little bit here, or if they even want to do that?
Well, as always, going for the push is a little bit difficult against what Awake have, mainly the Tinker and now the Earthshaker, so it's going to have to be a very specific timing. They could go for a Chenchantress and have those neutral creeps be buffed up by the very early Poison Healing Ward and go for a strategy like that with the support Venomancer. Or they could go for something like a Lone Druid and have the Bear in the front lines. I would say those are probably the most common Healing Ward supporting kind of duos. You could either go for those unit-based pushing with the jungling heroes or just have someone who's really bulky. And, well, they still can go for something like a Centaur if they want to just have a hero that is really bulky and makes use of that healing ward, but I'm going to expect a Lone Druid here.
Yeah, actually Lone Druid would be pretty good, because healing ward with a Spirit Bear, it's just absolutely sick. Even March of the Machines probably wouldn't be able to bring him down. So I'm not too opposed to the idea. The only thing is that how fast can a Lone Druid actually be a proper asset in the fight, just so that the enemy would actually be afraid of that hero, or the Spirit Bear. But Insidious Idol now, they have about 10 seconds left only in the reserve time to just make that final decision of theirs. And it's never an easy choice to just go for anything up against a Tinker, but they go for a Dazzle, so they really want to just sustain their push with the heals and hope that Awake they don't have enough to bring down the waves anyway.
This Dazzle pick is pretty sweet, actually. I mean, whether or not Juggernaut or Venomancer are going to be played as the farmer is ultimately not that relevant, assuming they're all going to be playing together in a lane. If Insidious Idol put Dazzle, Juggernaut, and Venomancer together, then they could certainly push pretty hard with the Plague Wards as well as that heal sustain. They're also avoiding the unit-based pushing, which is really bad against Tinker, which I like. So this is a very interesting lineup that Insidious have crafted for themselves. It's going to have to be played very well, though. I mean, Wake, they still need another core hero, and maybe they want to pick up someone who has some answers to the Blade Fury, and something that goes through that. So anyone with a Bash would be really nice, or anyone... I mean, Razor already kind of has drain damage, which is going to go through that, but I don't know what else they would pick up right here.
Give us an Axe against Dazzle, man.
Axe.
Pick. We need an Axe. Best hero against Dazzle, but... I mean, to be honest, The only thing that Insidious Idol is heavily lacking is proper lockdown. Yes, they have slows from Poison Touch as well as the Venomous scale of Venomancer, but they have pretty much no stuns apart from just Chronosphere. So people might be, or just, especially the Tinker should be having an easy time TPing out, but Awake, they go for an Elder Titan as the last one, reducing the enemy's armor as well as magic resist as well as, it's a pretty damn good counter pushing hero. I mean, Astral Spirit into Crypt Swarm equals Creep Wave dead pretty much.
Yeah, it's a decent counter for that pushing, and that you could thin out the Creep Wave really well. If you get an early point Echo Stomp, you could waste a lot of the time from Insidious, though Elder Titan in general is a hero that is very vulnerable. He moves rather quickly once he gets the Spirit in, but if he gets caught with a Time Walker and a Blade Fury, then he's just going to go down very easily. I feel like for Insidious, the only hero that really doesn't actually fit into this lineup, weird as it is to say, is the Faceless Void. Like, he does offer a little bit more disable, but no one else on the team except for the Death Prophet is going to be putting much damage into that Chronosphere. So Faceless Void is, I wanted to say, always going to be a good hero, but in this situation with the lineup and the direction that Insidious have gone to, Faceless Void doesn't really fit.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Faceless Void is more or less the only hero that can deal with the Tinker at the moment, so that's probably going to be his main priority in this game. Just Chronosphere the Tinker, secure the kill on him, and then be done with it.
Yeah, that's going to be a tall order, at least once Tinker does get his Blink Dagger, which should come eventually, but we have our teams going to their lanes, and let's see who's going to be playing what. We got Z-Red supporting as a Dazzle on bottom lane, along with Black Panther on the Venomancer. Shagasaurus is going to be on the Juggernaut. Actually, Black Panther is going to be playing a core Venomancer. Ysera is going to be playing the mid lane Death Prophet, and Bethel is going to be up top solo as the Faceless Void.
And for Awake, Solotic will be the offlane Elder Titan for them, with BSR playing the mid lane Tinker, leaving Yo2 on the Earthshaker, with the last two being Toye on the Razor, and Supra playing that Check hero. And yeah, Black Panther, he is a new stand-in for them, or player, I'm not even too sure. Ponlo was standing in before from Team Assail. So, mixing it up a little bit, and, well, a sentry comes down already straight away just to make sure the Ancients aren't gonna get stacked.
It's like Secret Agent Juggernaut sneaking between the Tier 1 and Tier 2 towers was spotted, both going and coming back, so Awake should know exactly what this Juggernaut is up to. Well, maybe not the secondary sentry that he placed down, but definitely the Ancients blocked should be something that Awake are aware of, and the Tinker has a sentry of his own, which was given to him by one of his supports, so when he finds the time, he'll be sure to deward that, but there's not going to be any very, very early Ancient stacking from this Tinker. You're rarely going to see that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's just rather safe than sorry from Insidious Idol, since they do want to go for the push, or at least their lineup indicates that they do. It's always a priority to keep that Tinker down for as long as possible.
Now they're looking for bottom lane Yo2. Don't go over there. Oh, he's in such a vulnerable position. I think this Earthshaker might just be dead. He's circling around for Black Panther, but he gets tagged with the Gale. The Fissure is going to fly into Black Panther. He's going to take a lot of damage from the Razor, who stole a lot, but Yo2 taking so much more. The right clicks from these two heroes should be enough, although Shagasaurus taking a lot of damage from the Razor as well. One more hit will not kill him. He needs one more. That's not going to happen. Juggernaut gets to live. Venomancer gets to live. Earthshaker gets to live. Somehow, no one died there.
Wow, that was extremely surprising, to be honest. But I guess Blade Fury was actually literally the only source of damage. A couple of right clicks from Dazzle as well, which don't really hurt all that bad. And Earthshaker started with 600 HP, so actually pretty high HP pool. Blade Fury does 400, of course mitigated by the 25% base magic resistance. So, I mean, I was extremely surprised that he didn't go down, but the nerf to Venomous scale, man. Level 1 Venomous scale not doing damage.
Yeah, it's sometimes comes into play, and I think this time it was one of those times. If it had that extra kick of damage, they would have been more inclined to die for it and try to trade off the Juggernaut for that first blood, and they probably would have gotten away with it also, but you know, for now it's going to be just the Razor who's going to dictate the pace of this lane. If he's set up with an Ice Path or a Fissure or both, then with the Static Link he'll be able to pretty much kill whoever he gets his hands on, and with the supports leaving from Insidious Idol, this Venomancer is going to really struggle in this lane. He's going to be most likely prioritizing his Plague Ward as well as his Poison Sting from here on out, and then just try to get a little bit of something going, keep himself safe a little bit with those Plague Wards. But for right now, Shagasaurus has left, and Z-Red is still in the area. Really, is it going to be a Dazzle Venomancer dual lane? That just seems unnecessary to me. Might as well just send him up top lane and try to protect his Faceless Void a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the Faceless was actually taking a lot of harassment from Solotic. Just Astral Spirit through, get the extra movement speed, get the extra attack damage, and go for the man fight. And Faceless Void so far 5-0 compared to 11-3. Venomancer, of course, 3-1 compared to 13-5 on the Razor. So not looking too good so far for Insidious Idol, to be honest. But Death Prophet is out farming the Tinker at the very least.
That's something that's going their way, but really with their lineup, it's okay if they fall behind a little bit, since with their pushing, they can very easily make it up in a nice team fight or a nice dedicated push. But, you know, being behind at any stage is never really what a team wants to do. Bethel up top might get some support from the Juggernaut. If he gets a lucky bash, then Shagasaurus can come in there with that spin, but Elder Titan with this spirit management, he's hitting so hard, and ordinarily Faceless Void versus another melee hero would be an okay matchup, since with the bashes and with the Stout Shield or Venom that he's gone for, he'll be able to duel the enemy pretty easily, but this just isn't the case, because Elder Titan most of the time is just going to have a double damage rune because of that Astral Spirit, and of course the Natural Order amplifying his damage even further. This is not going to be a one lane up top, and really Shagasaurus can't do much to help out. And same thing for the bottom lane. Black Panther's not going to win this lane, and Z-Red can't do anything to help the Venomancer win this lane, or help them to not lose the lane. So the lanes from Insidious are kind of stalled out for now, and this is really hurting them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the best Insidious Idol can offer at the moment is just get the levels. They don't really need that much fun. Actually, Black Panther Ice Path comes through. Just an harassing one is like, yeah, I want to use my mana every now and then. They have the Ring of Passy to provide some additional mana regeneration as it is anyway. But Shagasaurus, look at this Sotic. He's actually trying to go for the kill. If you want right click, that's all they need. Time Walk. He comes through. The Time Lock is there as well. Healing Ward, Blade Fury. Can they actually get the kill on in return, Sotic? He's gonna be fast enough, trying to bottle up as well at the moment. And yeah, he should be running. Oh, never mind. Ysera. He comes in up to meet them. Oh, Shaga. Wow. That Time Lock from Bethel. But Ysera, first blood on Death Prophet. Always a good sign.
That was pretty bold by Shagasaurus to turn around and try to go for that one. Ultimately, it does pay off quite a bit, as the rotation from the Death Prophet does secure her the first blood. Didn't exactly need it versus the Tinker, but the extra kick of gold is always very nice. The Juggernaut, I think, was most happy because he just got experience from that one, and Elder Titan got a little bit too overconfident, was very close to getting that Juggernaut kill in the end, like one more hit would have done it, but ultimately just not tanky enough, and he'll continue to go back up to the top lane and fight up against Faceless Void very well, but now that the Chronosphere is up for Void, it'll be a little bit more dangerous for Elder Titan to actually commit to anything.
Yeah, it most likely will indeed. And well, Bethel solo, I think he doesn't pose too much of a threat to Solatic, but whenever +1 hero comes, it just changes so much. But look at this ancient stack now. I do believe it is I want to say a penta stack, or maybe even maybe just a quad one, but I mean still a pretty huge stack for them to just farm up later.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Insidious, they don't have the best heroes to clear off Ancients. Venomancer can do it once he gets a couple more levels and just sets up a whole nest of Plague Wards. Faces Void without a Battle Fury or something like that can't do it. I guess Exorcism can be committed, but that's just really not what you want to use Exorcism for. So killing off this Ancient stack is going to be a pretty large priority. Really, I think the biggest concern for Insidious should be don't let Tinker find out about this, because if Tinker gets his hands on this, that could be disastrous. And for Tinker right now, he's going to get his Ancient stack blocked once again, and Shagasaurus is going to run to the Tinker with the spin? No spin, okay. Well, he's going to let the Tinker walk away, but still the Tinker is unable to get any of his own stacks off. If Tinker finds the Dire stack, that could be just game losing for Insidious.
Yeah, it's definitely something that they cannot allow to have happen, but they need to farm it up themselves somehow, since Dazzle is only level 2 at the moment. He's not getting too much of anything, so the Ancients, if they can farm it up, it's gonna be just so good for them. But top lane, oh, Shagasaurus, he wants to come in, Solatic. He is hanging back far enough, I think, at the moment. Faces Void, he was even forced to just bring out a healing salve out to him, and man, this Elder Titan, he is bullying this lane. I mean, he's not that far ahead in last hits, but he is dominating this lane with his presence.
Chronosphere on the edge can kill Solatic, and it will just be in range, I think. No, he walked in! Shagasaurus, he messed up. He got a little bit too close to that Chronosphere. It's a very delicate gank, and it's a difficult one to pull off, and it did not work out for them. The Elder Titan was a little bit too close to the center of that one, and when you do walk into that Chronosphere, if you are Blade Furying, then you will stop Blade Furying, and, well, now Juggernaut does know about that for sure. Ultimately, failed gank.
Yeah, just a little bit unfortunate. The Chronosphere positioning was almost spot on like that. But Chronosphere and Cooldown Awake, they can breathe a little bit easier now. At least the top lane can, as Black Panther. Just trying to get something. Actually, he's going for the Supra. Ice Path is there. The Fisher to follow up as well. But can he get the kill? Plasma Field comes through. No, Black Panther. There's no running away, I think. Toye, he should be fast enough. Or actually easy. Plague Ward slowing everybody down, and man, are you kidding me? Is he gonna make the escape? Ice Path doesn't connect, Fisher still on cooldown as well. He doesn't use the Clarity, and well, Venomancer, he actually escapes.
Wow, that was some escape from the Venomancer. Just the small amount of slows from those Plague Wards proving to be just enough to slip him away. I mean, he's a pretty fast hero right now with the brown boots, but really the Razor should have caught up if not for the fact that the poison sting was there. We do see Ysera chasing down BSR, and I really like how Insidious are playing this versus the Tinker. You rarely ever see teams committing this hard into shutting down the Tinker, and this game, they've blocked the Ancient stacks twice, they've denied the hard camp stack a couple times. They're making sure that BSR has as bad of a time as possible. And in the meantime, they're taking down a tier 1 mid tower, using the Exorcism to do so. If Insidious Idol don't let up, then it could very well benefit them shutting down this Tinker this much. However, Tinker is just 500 gold away from his Boots of Travels, so all this work might not lead into too much in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's still nice that they are at least attempting, if nothing else, and I mean, otherwise, had the Ancients been stacked all this time, I think PSR would have just gotten his Boots of Travels by now, farming up the Ancients. So, it's still delaying him by a little bit, or if not the Boots of Travels by too much, then at least the Blink Dagger to come out afterwards.
Shagasaurus still poking away at this Elder Titan. It's pretty much just a bluff. Elder Titan could have just turned this around and killed him off, but Ysera going to go once again for BSR, who's out of mana, but Ysera just wants to make Tinker's life as difficult as possible, taking a lot of damage from that March. But with a full bottle and a haste rune, she will be just fine to, at the very least, mess with the Tinker. It's not going to be enough, though, because Tinker pretty much has his Boots of Travels in the bag, assuming he doesn't mess up any last hits in this area. But it looks like Insidious Idol, they are going to go for the Venomancer clear on this Ancient stack. Venomancer desperately needs it because he's been shut down so hard in lane, but it will be so slow. The Plague Wards aren't even maxed out, so it's going to be the entire Ancient stack slowly dropping, while I guess the Dazzle collects some experience from the bottom lane, but Awake, they should know that something's going on because there's no Venomancer here.
Yeah, and well, he now actually comes back with a couple of Plague Wards under the tower as well, which has not taken a single point of damage yet. So pretty nicely defended so far from Insidious Idol. And now the Siege Creep focusing the Plague Wards as well, so there's no damage to the building at all. But Boots of Travels are finished now on BSR. He doesn't have the Soul Ring yet, so actually he went for the Reich kind of, but he will have his Soul Ring soon enough after this.
I'm just watching Black Panther try to slog through all these Ancients. He doesn't have a Ring of Basilius or any sort of mana regeneration at all, so I don't think he can actually do this. The Shagasaurus top lane, he gets whomped by the Stapler, and now Elder Titan going to go for the Faceless Void. Red is here to help out, but Juggernaut just got punched so hard by 200 damage worth of Elder Titan. You can't afford to get that close, especially since you don't have any armor because of maxed out Natural Order.
Oh wow, that... I mean, to be honest, this Juggernaut hasn't really done too much of anything. He has been a little bit active on the map, just blocking off some camps with the wards, but other than that, not really been used to huge success. But Bethel, he wants to come in. Can he get the Chrono perfectly this time around? Ice Path actually doesn't connect on anything. Blade Fury already activated in Solar Stick. He should go down rather easy. He wants to go for the right clicks. One more shred, he's gonna go down! Just 2 right clicks, that's all it took. Are you kidding me?
Bethel's still pretty low. Ice Path being armed for Jakiro, but not going to throw it. Now Ysera is going to come around from the side. Shagasaurus going to try to search for Super. They're going to drop the Chronosphere blind. They caught the Jakiro, and that's going to be another kill going the way of Insidious. But still, you have to respect this Elder Titan. If you get too close, you will just die. And well, now the Dazzle certainly knows about that. This might be an opportunity for them to push, but Tinker is arriving with Boots of Travels. Not that many levels into anything else, but he has the Soul Ring, Travels, and 1 point of rearm. With the March and Machine spam, I don't think Insidious can actually push anymore. I think they might have just lost their opportunity to get a real nice push off the ground.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely hard from now on, for sure. Healing Ward helps out a little bit, but if he's actually spamming March and Machines at the same time, Healing Ward, it's just not nearly going to be enough until the heroes get like Heart of the Rask or something to tank up a little bit, because if you have like 900 HP pool, Healing Ward percentage base doesn't do all that much.
So it's going to be really difficult for the Juggernaut to contribute moving forward. He's stacking up a couple of hard camps, and he does have an Omni Slash available, which is still capable of bringing someone down very low. I don't think it's capable of insta-killing anyone just yet, or not anymore. The supports for Awake are more on the tanky side. Jakiro is a very tanky support as far as supports go. His starting strength is very, very high, and Earthshaker's starting strength is also decently high as well. So, I mean, it's going to be difficult for Juggernaut to contribute anything outside of that healing ward. If he keeps it alive, then fine. Otherwise, he'll contribute very, very little, as Awake they're going to mobilize up on top lane. Yo2 is having a much better game this time. He has 2 last hits, but he hasn't died a single time. I think at this point last game he was like 0-3-3. He's still looking for opportunities up on top, and Solodic with doing the damage, it's possible to get a kill, but against Faceless Void maxed out Time Walk, it's very unlikely. They're just going to chip away at it with the damage from the Elder Titan plus Liquid Fire, and Insidious, I don't think they can do anything about this.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard, and I mean, it's just so funny for me to look at Black Panther still trying to farm up the Ancients. I mean, they are dropping to half HP, at least some of them, but it's taking them so damn long. I mean, if they only had like one hero, if they had a Tinker there, easy gold, easy life, but I guess since Black Panther, he isn't focusing like 100% on them, he's also going to lane to defend the tower at the same time. So it's just an extra source of income. But Peteli goes in Chronosphere onto Solodic. Will it be enough? It should. The Ice Buff is actually there, connects onto 2. Ysera comes around as well, creeps forward with the right clicks from Solodic. No Earth Splitter quite yet though. Shekastor is on the run as well. And no, never mind, he goes down. Earth Splitter won't do anything at all. Bethel, he's on the run. Liquid Fire, the heals, they will be enough. So it's just a 2-for-0.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Titan held on to that Earth Splitter for just a little bit too long, and he ultimately didn't get any damage out of it at all. They're going to put more damage up to top lane. The missiles just barely short of killing off that Faceless Void. Still, they're going to go for this top lane push, it seems, and Awake, they really want this, and they're getting a good amount of gold by pushing into this tower, like cleaning up all the creeps, and Plaza Field with the March of the Machines is really nice and everything, but now Black Panther actually has a little bit of space. He's gets to deal with the Tinker in just a little bit, and his push won't really go anywhere. But Awake, if they stick up here and wait for another Chronosphere to land, or wait for Insidious to heal up at the very least, then I don't know if they could actually get anything done outside of some good initiation. And who's going to do that? The Earthshaker with Fissure is really the only initiation that Awake have. Maybe an Ice Path or something like that, but really Insidious have all the initiation with the Faceless Void jumping.
Yeah, it's actually something that I didn't even consider before. Awake just heavily lacking the champion potential at the moment. They are definitely focused more on the defensive side. I mean, Shakiro as well as Earthshaker, Ice Path and Fissure both can be used to create the whale just defensively, but getting the jump is going to be so hard. Toye does dodge kind of one. Oh man, Bethel is going to go in again. Chronosphere, it's still on cooldown, unfortunately. It could have been huge, but there's the Fissure Plasma Field. Bethel suddenly. He's the one on the run. Ysera though, does he really want to fight this? He's dropping so damn low, Solodic. He finally backs off, but man, I really thought it's going to be like a 3-man Chronosphere, but suddenly, man, it's on cooldown.
I think Awake thought it was going to be that same thing. Now they're going to go back in with the Aura. The Stegosaurus can take so much damage. The missiles will kill off. Earth Splitter onto 3 will slow them all down. But can they get any of these kills? Again, they have no chasing power. They have no way to get in this fight. They'll punch down the tower. But now, there's the 3-man Chronosphere. Solodic's going to be the first one to fall. Now focusing on to BSR. The Earthshaker's off to the sidelines, but doesn't have any mana to actually do anything. Tinker is going to go down as Toye is going to be the only one to slip away from that Chronosphere Supra. He's going to try to distract Insidious, and he'll be successful in doing so. But that's going to cost him his life. Insidious, they get the Chronosphere, and they get 3 kills. They also lose the Tier 1 tower, which kind of sucks, but I think they're going to be more than okay with that trade. Unfortunately for them, Venomancer did leave the bottom lane and try to help out, and ultimately didn't get much of anything, so it could have gotten even better for Insidious. But really, the lack of initiation hurting Awake so much in this game.
Yeah, and they got a little bit overeager as well with killing off the Juggernaut first and then trying to follow up, although all of their ultimates have been already used by that time. And, well, excellent fight for Insidious side. Looking at the graphs as well, 60 minutes in. Or, never mind, hold that. Razor might be in trouble. Blade Fury comes in, he's silenced up as well. Is he going to be fast enough though? The Tinker tried to come in to help Ysera. He gets stunned up actually, heat seeking misses laser. Nope, they keep him alive with the Shallow Grave and the heals from the Dazzle. So Razor, he goes down in the end. BSR, he is not given up yet, healing ward down. Ysera, he's just going to be fine. Earn up as well. So, huge kill onto the Razor, and Insidious 9-3, looking decent enough. Goldcraft, oh man, look at how spiky it is. It's not even a 500 gold lead for Insidious title, just sitting around 400 or so. XP though, 5,000. Well, that's a huge lead.
Yeah, in this game, Bethel's getting a much better time. He has his Mask of Madness as well on his way to his Lightning Hammer, so he's going to be going for the same exact build as last time, but he's 304, and his farm net worth isn't the best, but it's definitely better than the last game. So, Insidious, they're sitting pretty in this game, and they still could look for some towers. They have Exorcism, which hasn't actually been used offensively very much because they have to always play on the defensive, but in a little bit they can go for those pushes with Exorcism and max out Plague Wards, and soon to be a mech for the Benno.
Yeah, I mean, he's been working on it for quite some time actually, but he has a little bit of extra as well. I'm kind of hoping for Arcane Boots, because actually they don't have any Arcane Boots at the moment. you kind of need those if you want to sustain the push, if you're ever gonna go for one at all. And otherwise, Venomancer, he couldn't even pop all of his abilities with the ultimate and the mech together if he didn't have the arcanes. But mech actually finished on the counterpart as well, solo tick on the other Titan. Toye? No, he's not gonna follow up anymore. So Arcane Woods actually are gonna get picked up by Black Panther now. And who actually has the better in the aggressive? I mean, Chegosaurus on a support Juggernaut working towards a semi-carry-ish kind of item build, face boots into drums. And oh, 4-man smoke, maybe Sneaky Roche.
Well, they could go for Roshan with the amount of sustain that they have, or they could look to crash the bottom lane. Looks like the option will be Roshan. They have the healing, and they already have the weave, which is, boost up their armor by quite a large margin. Together with the sustain, it's going to be a very safe, very secure Roshan, especially with Bethel jumping in for Chronosphere support should things get hairy. This time, Awake are going to be unable and unaware of this, and they will not be able to contest it. That's going to be a free Aegis going the way of Bethel. Exorcism, once again, not used to take out a tower, but taking Exorcism for Roshan is a perfectly reasonable trade for Ysera, and he's going to spend a lot of gold. He was holding on to 3,000. Looks like he's going to be going for a BKB, this Death Prophet. It will certainly be very useful in fighting up against the Awake lineup, so can't really fault the Death Prophet for going for that build. And off of that, Roshan, it looks like they want to just go right down the bottom lane, maybe finally clear these stacks, but now the Elder Titan knows about it with the Spirit.
Yeah, it's like, I think Awake are, come on guys, let's get that Tinker there, easy farm. I mean, it's not like anybody apart from the Tinker can farm it up easily either, so... I mean, these stacks, how long have they been there? How many have been already farmed up and more have spawned in their just wake? But PSR, he actually goes in rather aggressive, March the Machines is down, and everybody from Insidious side, they're trying to back off. Healing Ward, he's keeping them live. Oh, actually, I hear a Poison Nova, Venomancer, they're going to fight PSR, they need some stuns, anything time lock. Yep, they popped the Chrono for it. Black Panther though will go down in the March the Machine, so it's a 1-for-1 Chegosaurus. He's going to stay alive, Ice Path catches him, but, I mean, 1-for-1, and how many Ancients did Tinker actually get to steal there?
I don't know if he actually stole any. He might have gotten a couple here and there, but definitely not any of the big ones that you really want to steal, so maybe like a small dragon or something like that. Nothing too substantial, and well, he kind of was asking for it. He teleported onto the Spirit of the Elder Titan, which shouldn't actually be possible, but it is something you could do in Dota. And now Toye is going to be jumped on. There's the Omni Slash, which will hit mostly onto the Razor, but he's still very tanky. He's going to pop a Jump Charge and try to book it, but he's slowed down by the bashes, and he will be spun down by the Juggernaut. The tower will be saved and still a pretty decent amount of health. Awake, they lose two of their most important heroes, two heroes that you never really want to lose, and they actually don't get anything. And, well, Bethel, we're going to hit with another Astral Spirit, but now I think Insidious... Okay, no, Death Prophet, okay, I think used her ultimate to take out the last of the top lane, because she's teleporting in with Exorcism already popped, so she can't actually put that much damage onto this tower, but they're going to try anyway.
I mean, he did use it to get the tier 1 tower top lane, and, well, getting a little bit of bottom lane as well, getting the faster push is going to be worth it. Chronosphere, unfortunately, is still on cooldown, but Bethel, he has himself the Maelstrom finished, another 1.7k gold in the bank on top of it. So do you think he's going to go for a BKB now as well, or is he actually going to finish up the Mjolnir?
I think it's just got to be Maelstrom into a different item. Finishing up Mjolnir is good, but you don't really have to be going for that this early. Getting the BKB is going to be so useful. I mean, Death Prophet already has hers, and you can't really fall behind your Death Prophet. That's just, you can't do that. Last game he tried to go for an Aghanim's. I don't think this is going to be one of those games. They need Bethel to be doing a lot more damage in this game than the last, so yeah, I think it's probably got to be just BKB and then Mjolnir.
And by the way, what do you make of PSR going for the Bloodstone build? And actually, he started with an energy booster, and it doesn't really feel like he's farming all that fast at the moment to me.
Well, I mean, I love me some Bloodstone. I think it's a great item, but for Tinker, there's really no other build than getting Dagon first. I mean, it lets you kill things so much easier. Once you have level 1 Dagon, Laser Missile Dagon is capable of killing off pretty much any support outside of Shallow Grave, so it's a lot of wasted potential, I think, for this Tinker. Yes, he'll have a little bit more sustain, and yes, he'll have a chance to get some charges earlier, but the wasted opportunity of having that lowered kill potential is just so crippling, as now in the bottom lane, they're going to try to go for a very aggressive play. Insidious, they're going to open up onto Toye. Chronosphere is available, but they're not going to use it on the Razor. They're just going to spin him down. That should be a very easy kill. They lose the Aegis, though, on the face void, and Razor somehow slips away from that one. Earth Splitter now onto the O2. He's going to take so much damage from this ultimate from Ysera. That's going to be one down from Awake, and Supra still behind the tower, as is Toye and Solodic. These Martian machines make it so difficult for Insidious to actually get in. BSR dropping fairly low, but everyone's still pretty much alive for the Radiant. Now there's the Omni Slash onto the Elder Titan. Now Chronosphere onto 2 as well. Insidious, it took a little while. They finally got their opening.
This was such a wonky fight. It lasted so long. I have no idea how the Razor even survived the initiation of it, to be honest, but somehow he did. Tinker was just hiding in the trees for such a long time, trying to get the highest possible of heat-seeking missiles as well as march the machines down. But Insidious Idol, they had a weave on them, so they had all the armor in the world to work with. Just sustained it through and finally got their opening, and not only do they get the tier 1, they're also gonna get the tier 2.
Yeah, so a very nice win for Insidious in this game. They probably are gonna be forced to back off. They don't have much more in order to push the lanes, but they get a lot of gold off of that. Like, Juggernaut's holding on to 3,300, and he could go into a Yasha, Sanjin Yasha, something like that, and be a really solid semi-carry and a real big nuisance. Faceless Void has finished up his Maelstrom, and he actually didn't get as much gold as I really would have thought. Never mind, he bought a Hyperstone and the full Mjolnir, so that's where all his gold went off of that last fight. Black Panther with 2,300. Dazzle's gonna be poor still because that's what Dazzles do. 3,300 death profit, huge amounts of gold going the way of Insidious. As we take a look at the gold graphs, it was pretty much a 5,000 swing at the very least. It's still going down, so something like 5,000 gold being gained in total for Insidious over Awake.
Yeah, and they're also sitting at a pretty comfortable 12k EXP lead at this point in time. Shred actually, he did purchase the gem for their team with the Dazzle. I'm kind of hoping he's gonna hand it to a Venomancer though, who is a little bit more durable as well as just Plague Wards and gem, they go so damn well together. But Black Panther, as I was hoping for kind of as well, has picked up a Hood of Defiance, so he's working towards the pipe. And Chagasaurus, he picked up a Blink on the Chugger now.
I mean, it does get you really close for an Omni Slash. If you can position that one well, then, like in this scenario, and that's perfect. And it looks like the Blink will get a little bit of value, although the Chronosphere is going to deny it. I think this Razor is dead regardless. They can Omni Slash if they really want to, but the bashes are there. Juggernaut's going to get the kill somehow, stealing it from under Bethel. In the meantime, middle lane, Sierra is going to get hit with a Echo Stomp as well as a Fissure, but BKB is forced out. Death Prop's going to send the Jakiro up into the air. Exorcism is available, but not used just yet. Supra going to get slowed down. I think this might just be the death of the Jakiro. The minus armor, or the slowdown from the poison is there, and Ysera sees one more swarm, although the Fissure is going to deny them. Now the Spirit going to amplify that damage as well. Ysera taking a lot of damage. The missiles won't be enough. It will be enough, actually, because of that Astral Aura, or the Elder Titan Aura, and now in the back end, Yotu is going to get got upon by Bethel as well as Shagasaurus. Somehow got back here. Omni Slash will jump over to Solodic right after killing off that Dazzle. Now Solodic with a lot of damage will look to chase this one down with the extra damage. Jump forward from BSR, but instantly gets bashed. They're going to turn this one around. The Tinker jumps way too aggressively. The Bloodstone charges aren't going to help you here, as Bethel does really want this kill. He's going to bash down the Tinker. Blink forward to Shagasaurus. That's going to get the kill, and Solodic will be the only one to escape from that engagement. In the meantime, Black Panther on the bottom lane has been pushing this one out as aggressively as possibly can. He'll unleash the ultimate onto Toye, as actually doing a lot of damage. Toye, not with enough damage stolen. He might actually burn down to the poison of Black Panther. It'll be very, very close. He uses his stick charge. It looks like he will survive, albeit barely. Black Panther being a nuisance, whereas the rest of his team getting wins all around the map.
Yeah, I mean, without the Tinker kill, it would have been rather even, I think, for Awake, but just losing that. Oh, the Fissure catches Black Panther, Ice Path. Oh, just barely off target, so BSR is not going to be enough. Venomous Scale connection too as well, but actually the burst damage, it still might be Blink. Yeah, they're going to get the kill, Mech or not, I think. Yotu, 3 seconds for another Fissure. Black Panther trying to juke it out. Is it actually going to be enough? He tries to block in BSR in the trees. The Fissure is there on the wrong side. He doesn't really want to use the Echo Slam. It's on cooldown anyway. Enchant, Totem. Now the slows, man. The Plague Wards are so damn annoying. Another laser march the machines. Well, there's no escaping this.
Oh, he's going to try TP out. One right click, he lives! Man. Black Panther. What a baller. Holy crap. That was glorious. That was one of the best escapes I've ever seen. I mean, just Plague Ward patiently focusing down the Tinker, preventing him from blinking. Also, the Tinker ran out of mana halfway through, so maybe it wasn't the best escape I've ever seen, but that was pretty sweet.
I was so certain that the Master Machines is going to get the kill, that he's not going to be able to TP out from there, but all proving me wrong. Nicely done by the Venomancer. And actually, the kill previously onto BSR when the Fist of Void just time walked on him. He had actually just finished the Bloodstone before, so he's up to 6 Bloodstone charges now. Or well, down to 6, I guess is the right way to put it. And oh man, Reaver picked up on Ysera. So he's gonna go for that Heart of the Rask, and another Roshan is up. Exorcism poked for it as well, it's level 3. Should be a rather easy one.
And after this Roshan, it'll give Venomancer enough gold to finish up the pipe. Bethel is going to be going for that BKB that we were describing earlier, and Juggernaut is very close now to finishing up his Aghanim Scepter. And of course, the Heart on the Death Prophet means that not only is she going to be tankier because of that item, but also the percentage-based healing of Healing Ward is going to get better as they jump into Super. Omni Slash to chop the dragon in half. Easy kills for Shagasaurus, and well, once he gets Omni Slash, he could do that a lot more often. So it'll just be one kill off of that Roshan, but Awake, I don't really know what they could do anymore. I mean, the Dagon is now picked up for the Tinker, and he's going to spam out everything that he has, but I don't know if that's actually going to be enough. With Echo Slam and the Spirit to clear the creep wave, it might be enough, but actually Shagasaurus links up and finds BSR, and Bethel's going to follow suit as well. They have an Omni Slash. Bethel taking so much damage. He will get saved by the Dazzle for now, and the pipe is active. Tinker's going to commit Sudoku, and, well, that's going to be the Tinker down for 40 seconds. No buyback available on him. The Echo Stomp being very annoying for Insidious, but this push will still happen. Faceless Void has a Chronosphere still. Awake, they can't defend this.
Well, they definitely cannot, and 25 more seconds. Exorcism cooldown, oh, 40 unfortunately, since they did use it for Roshan after all. But I think they can just relax, start pushing out the top lane slowly but surely, get the last outer tower down, and then focus on the Rex. And Aghanim Scepter finished on Shagasaurus, only half a level away from being level 16, and he's a support Juggernaut. Man, that guy is farmed as all hell. He has the same net worth as the Razor does.
That's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, he has the same items almost, just different boosts.
Yeah, Dazzle's been the one who's buying all this real support items. Bethel up on top lane. He's in Viz, and he wants to do something, but he's really, bro. He just waited so long to drop that Chronosphere. Took so much damage from the March and then wasted a Chronosphere. Let's pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, nobody saw that. Move along, people. There's nothing to see here. Shagasaurus, he's trying to angle for some solo kills himself, potentially PSR. Has to be careful. Shagasaurus blinks right on top of him, but the Omni Slash on cooldown, unfortunately. Dagon comes out, a few right clicks, they want to keep on target, but PSR is fast enough with the boots of travels. Oh man, if only Shagasaurus had had his ultimate off cooldown there.
This isn't an item that we often see on the Juggernaut, but if he uses it to constantly catch heroes off guard all by themselves like this, gonna jump in for a spin only, he's gonna take a lot of damage because he can't cancel this. He does have an Omni Slash to back himself up, and he has a lot of movement speed. He can drop the Healing Ward and try to lure Awake away, or one person away, so that he could blink back in an Omni Slash, which is now available. But Insidious, it looks like nothing's actually going to happen off of that one, curiously enough. Bethel gonna be jumped upon by BSR. Unfortunately for the Faceless Void, doesn't have a Chronosphere, so he actually can't do anything to shut down this Tinker. But, yeah, still, they're going to go back in. Actually, Shagasaurus really wants in with this Blink Dagger. He's keeping himself alive with the Healing Ward as well. This Juggernaut with the Blink is just playing so aggressively, and I feel like you have to if you're going to pick up a Blink Dagger on this hero.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love how Shagasaurus has played the entire game from the get-go. I mean, early on wasn't all that useful since, well, it's kind of hard to be useful as a roaming Juggernaut, but he has done his job, gotten his farm, and the Blink Dagger, he really has been so aggressive in 6, 2, and 6 as well. That just goes to show how well it has worked out for him, and the graphs, they just keep getting steeper and steeper in the favor of Insidious. Blink, Omni Slash, oh, bye-bye Twin-Headed Dragon, and now Shagasaurus, Blade Fury, TP out.
Easy escapes, and Awake, they don't have anything except for raw damage that could interrupt that, and I don't think anyone's going to be getting a basher on them, so they will continue to have no answer to the Juggernaut, who will just spin and then teleport away. And Juggernaut's actually pretty tanky as well with the Aghanim, so bursting him down within the duration of that teleportation is not that feasible when you're working with just physical damage. So very nice kills for the Juggernaut, and also the rest of his team while that was happening were busy taking down the tier 2 tower. Now it's just a matter of time before Insidious looked towards high ground. The Aegis was timed down. No, it's still on the Faceless Void, although it's not going to be there for too much longer. They have a short window of opportunity where they have the Aegis and Exorcism up to actually go for a high ground push, but going for high ground is so much harder compared to going for these tier 2s. At the very least, they have to wait for this Juggernaut to get his Omni Slash back. Being able to kill off one hero or bring several heroes down is instrumental in breaking up the high ground.
Yeah, I think they are kind of hoping for the Tinker to try to push out some lane. Oh, the Chronosphere comes up, Bethel, he finds him. There's the kill, and he doesn't have buyback. Oh man, this is the opening they've been waiting for. Ysera, he has the Heart of the Rask as well, and I mean, what's gonna kill them now when there's no Tinker anymore? They still have a decent amount of counter push. As the Spirit comes out, but the pipe already activated. The Fisher, actually, well, this is one of the best solutions here, but Ysera has the Exorcism, which of course doesn't care about the Fisher at all. And oh, Blink Omni Slash once again, Twin-Headed Dragon. He gets the most of it. Mech comes out so they won't get the other crystal checkers hurt. He's on zoning duty, another Blade Fury TP out.
And he's going to survive as the static link bugs out across the screen, but Ysera, Black Panther, and Red, while the Juggernaut has been running interference, they're taking the mid-Raxes, and Awake without their Tinker, they can't defend this. Without their Tinker and Jakiro, there's no way in hell. In the meantime, the top lane's also being pushed by Bethel. This Faceless Void does do a crap ton of damage. The Razor's going to get thrown up into the air, probably going to land right into a Gale, and he will. The slows on the Razor are legit, but there's really not much follow-up since Bethel is very low on mana. Black Panther caught sleeping due to the stomp. The Tinker's now back alive, so I don't know if Insidious can continue going for this one without the Chronosphere. They still have the Aegis for 30 seconds. This might be a bad situation for the Faceless Void if he loses that at the wrong timing. I think it's time for Insidious to all back up. Another Echo Stomp is going to land as Bethel wants back in. He doesn't have enough mana still, so he's really wanting to use the Aegis right now, but the pipe is up. He's not going to die anytime soon. There's the Arcane Boots. He just barely doesn't have enough for a jump in and a Chronosphere, so he has to blind Chronosphere, and there's the jump in. Has enough for a Chronosphere, gonna land onto BSR. With the damage that he has, this should be a free kill on Tinker, although the Echo Stomp making it so that he's doing no damage now. The ultimate from the Black Panther does go off Bethel, will lose the Aegis. He's still alive, but he doesn't have the Aegis anymore. Reclaimed by Roshan. Now another Omni Slash will kill off the Earthshaker. Faceless Void gonna jump forward, and the BKB gonna go for Toye, and that's gonna be another kill. Who else is next? I don't think it's gonna be anyone. The rest of the Awake heroes are going to live because they tap out.
Yeah, extremely well fought by Insidious Idol, and I mean, I had my doubts a little bit how well they can just deal with the Tinker, but Blink, Juggernaut first of all, just worked out wonders for them, and Faceless Void, he managed to find the Tinker when it counted with that Chronosphere, just get the kill when Tinker didn't have buyback, and suddenly the towers and buildings started falling. I mean, Faceless Void 11, 0 and 11.
It's easy to say that Faceless Void did a lot, but I think really it was Shagosaurus who was setting up for most of those. He's 9-2 and 8 as a support Juggernaut. Early on, it was a very, very awkward stage. Like, he got punched down by the Elder Titan a couple times, but he ended up doing the damage, and the Healing Ward was instrumental for the Insidious side. So, a really nice win for them, and ultimately that's going to mean that this series ends 1-1.
Yeah, guys, and that's going to conclude it for us for the day as well for MPGL. We will be back tomorrow at 13 CEST, 19 SGT. With Awake versus Titan, followed by Insidious Idol versus Click and Search, and the last one will be Titan versus Insidious Idol. So, lots of great Dota to come tomorrow as well. Today, I think we will only have Join the League America, if anything. The first one will be at 0030 CEST, I think, half past midnight. So, for now, that's gonna be it for us. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, you can always follow us. The links necessary are below the stream. And huge thanks to Mike Lores for casting with me, and be sure to follow him at Mike Lores on Twitter. His Twitch is exactly the same as well, written like this. You can see it here, yes, on Dota, as well as on the title of Twitch. But guys, once again, thanks. Much appreciated that you came, and hope to see you another time. See ya.
Later, guys. GG.